Will Bernardo Silva be leaving Manchester City this summer? That is the reports throughout the last few hours, is that he could be seeing his way out of Manchester City this summer and potentially to Atletico Madrid, where we could see a swap deal with some money going one way or another with the star midfielder in Atletico, Saul Niguez. Of course, who's been very good for Atletico Madrid for so many years, but is definitely a lot less attacking in his abilities compared to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, of course, has played on the wing, has also played in the midfield as a bit of a cam or a box-to-box. His defensive abilities have improved. He's definitely not the same type of player as Saul, but Saul would be a very interesting fit in a Manchester City midfield alongside Rodri, a very good defensive Spanish duo to throw alongside the likes of De Bruyne. But that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're talking about how likely this deal is and how this would help both sides. That being said, if you guys do enjoy football content like this, consider subscribing. I'm going to be updating you guys on all of the transfer news that occurs throughout the summer. I will also be doing my predictions, coverage, and thoughts on all of the Euros action as that begins in a few days. And so if that is something you're interested in, then this is a great place to be. That being said, let's get right into it. And so the reports basically center around this, the fact that Saul and Bernardo Silva are not the happiest in their current situation. Saul Niguez is currently unsettled in Spain and Atletico Madrid, and believes that he may want to move out, which is interesting considering Atletico Madrid just won the league. It's probably the best season they've had since he's been playing for the team at a regular rate. Nonetheless, it looks like he wants to go in an opposite direction. It looks like Bernardo Silva might like to go somewhere else as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Bernardo Silva wants to see himself in a position where he can get a bit more consistent starting time. Not that he hasn't been playing for City, but he played 26 games in the Premier League last season. He'd probably like to be a consistent everyday starter, and I think he would definitely be that in Atletico Madrid, especially if Saul leaves. I think he would feel very nice to that team. It gives him a bit more attacking ability in that midfield. It allows Llorente to play a little bit more back in the pitch. Not that Llorente can't move forward, but I think he's very good defensively. And Bernardo Silva can give some great service into João Felix, which I think is a great Portuguese duo that can do wonders for that Atletico Madrid attack. And so I think this signing definitely makes a lot of sense for Atletico Madrid. For Manchester City, Saul can help you go forward, and obviously his passing range is very good. His ability to move the ball up the pitch is quite good, but he's not exactly an attacking-minded, creative, nifty player, and that's something that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola seem to like to have in that midfield. They'll have Rodri sit in a bit more as a defensive role, and then they'll have either the likes of De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva or Gundogan or these types of players get a pitch. Those are a bit more offensively inclined, and maybe Saul could convert to that role, but that seems like more of the Marcos Llorente role in Atletico Madrid. Saul is a bit more defensive-minded. That's kind of what fits his play style. But they could have a very defensive, bruising setup in the Manchester City midfield with Saul alongside the likes of Rodri. Now, both are only age 26. They're both just entering their prime, so they both have a ton of value in the 70 to 80 million range. So I don't think there would have to be a big swing of money either way here. I think you could argue that Saul has more value, but that's debatable either way. They're both high value, high caliber, significantly good players that can definitely impact both sides. I think it makes Manchester City a bit more defensively sound in the midfield. It adds their possession game, and I think it takes them a bit more up the pitch, and it adds a lot more creativity, the demand of creativity on Kevin De Bruyne, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that De Bruyne has probably a little bit more free reign to get up the pitch and just create. And especially for whoever they have at striker that they bring in over the summer, if they bring in Harry Kane, then you're just going to let De Bruyne and Harry Kane do their magic. Probably not a bad thing, but I think it definitely makes sense for the respective players. Saul wants to change. Obviously, he isn't happy in Atletico Madrid for whatever reason. Bernardo Silva wants to get regular game time, but still stay at a good club. And I don't necessarily blame him for that, because Manchester City is probably one of the few clubs in the world where someone the caliber of Bernardo Silva is not a guaranteed day in, day out starter. Starts the majority of games, but it seems like most seasons, the season starts off and Bernardo Silva is not in the starting lineup, and then injuries occur, and then he's in because he can play in multiple positions and is so versatile. And that's what makes him so valuable, and that's probably what makes him want to leave. But let me know your thoughts down below on this Saul Bernardo Silva potential swap, why you think these players may want to leave, and if you think this is a smart move for both teams. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.